ABC, Jeff. Just thought I'd do a kind of something a little unusual. Took off took off most of this week anyway, so my stack's getting kind of big. So I thought I'd just shoot a midweek listening stack video before it gets too big. Because otherwise they turn into these like 20-30 minute monster videos as the stacks start getting too big. So so officially did not get the job. That sucks. Wrong fingers. Uh, so yeah, this guy's disappointing, but hopefully something else pops up soon. Yeah, I don't know. A wife waiting on her interview now at this point, and not a whole lot going on. Just bathroom's finally finished, and I got to start working on repainting the den before I start anchoring all the shelves and whatnot. All the fun projects around the house, and then I got to redo the floors at some point. But um, anyway, enough of that. So let's just show you some of the stuff I've been listening to this week, and I should try to shoot another one. I'm trying to keep these around 10 minutes. Here, this is one I picked up at garage sale not that long ago, and yeah, Aretha Franklin from, apparently this is a movie soundtrack, Sparkle, composed and produced by Curtis Mayfield. So this is kind of like disco era Aretha, if you couldn't tell from the cover. Really good one, actually. So highly recommend this. The only other Aretha I have on vinyl is just like a kind of a early best of, but I don't know, it's kind of blah. But yeah, this is like the Aretha I'm kind of more familiar with on the radio and whatnot. So yeah, classic stuff produced by Curtis Mayfield. So if you ever see that, definitely pick it up. It's a really good one. Yep, so this one is kind of in the funk vein. So Freddie Hubbard, Windjammer. So the copy was a little rougher than I thought it was. So over speakers is not too bad, but it's not one I listen to over with the headphones. It's got a bit of surface noise. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good one. So Freddie doing it's jazz, of course, but he's doing more of like a funk thing on this one, and it's actually got a bit of vocals. It wasn't quite what I was expecting, but I actually rather like it. So maybe if I find a upgrade copy, I'll be picking that up. So Freddie Hubbard with who's on vocals actually. So it's arranged and conducted by Bob James. So that explains that. Who else is on this? So Freddie Hubbard, Gary King on bass. Got a whole bunch of people on drums. Steve Gadd, Andy Newmar, Chris Parker. Got some guitar work. Steve Kahn, Richie Reznikoff, Dave Spinoza. That's the only one I recognize. Eric Gale. There you go. Eric Gale. Ralph McDonald on percussion, and Ray Mantilla. Keyboards, Bob James. I don't know who's on vocals. Oh, it's like Hubert Laws is on some of this. Okay. A little bit of everybody on here. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. So it must be like, it's more like a studio album, obviously. But yeah, actually I really like that. So you can tell Hubert Laws and Bob James. You can have a pretty good idea where that's going. So it's very funky. This one, yeah, surprisingly good. It's a thrift pickup. So I think I showed this not that long ago. So this, not real standout tracks, but it's a really good album, but there's no real standout tracks. So I can kind of see maybe why they weren't bigger than the States, well, at least for this album anyway. So Guess Who, Canadian band, most well known for American Woman. Yeah, so I didn't even notice it was oh no, that's just the, sorry, that's the inner sleeve. So it just didn't go back in it's one of those, what do you call it? It's not Digipack, but yeah, Omnipack, I forget what they're called. But yeah, it's really a pain putting back. But yeah, the cool thing on this one, it's a very good album actually, but there's not really like standout tracks. It's just it's an album, but yeah, it had 5 or so pictures of the band somebody had taken or stuck in there. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Are they worth framing? I don't know. But yeah, a couple of them were pretty cool. Yeah, that was a good one. This is one I picked up in Japan. So this is Cosmos Factory. It might be taken named slightly after the album by Creedence, I guess. But what this is, it's pseudo prog, Japanese, kind of heavy prog, but it's actually English lyrics. There they are. But it's a little bit on the heavier side of prog, but they say they do not identify with prog. They grew up listening to blues rock, blah blah blah. Yeah, the lyrics were kind of fun to read actually. Yeah, it's a terrible album art. It's almost up there with that the Blasters I showed the other week. But yeah, this is a super duper album actually. Yeah, it's worth checking out. Might be able to stream it. So Cosmos without the apostrophe Factory. And this particular album is Metal Reflection. Could be their best album if I'm looking at Discogs right, but who knows. Yeah, this one was a little disappointing. Gentle Giant, I think it's like around their 5th album, give or take. Yeah, there was some stuff on the B-side I really liked. It's Only Goodbye, I remember standing out. And maybe it was Little Brown Bag, I can't remember. But yeah, it had a few standout tracks, but overall it was pretty mediocre to be honest. But I would be interested in picking up some of their other stuff because that's the only one I got. But I know I've streamed some of the earlier stuff and it was definitely a lot better. Yeah, this one picked up a while back. This is A Place to Bury Strangers, and the album is Worship. Probably my favorite one, the one that came out, I think it was immediately after this one's quite good too. So yeah, the pressing on this not that good. So yeah, honestly, this is one you might want to consider getting on CD. But yeah, if they're kind of somewhere between say Joy Division and Jesus and Mary Chain, they fall somewhere in there. So kind of noise rock band, Midwest, I believe. So this is on the Dead Oceans label, which I don't know what else is on there. But yeah, the pressing quality is absolutely terrible, but it's a really good album. Yeah, I really wanted to catch them when they were touring Japan, but yeah, I couldn't get anyone to cover my shift. So yeah, Japan, they start the shows really early, like 5, 6 o'clock or something. So it's really hard to catch them after work. Here, this one's 45, so Cream Corn by Butthole Surfers. Not their best, but I think the B-side's actually better than the A-side. So To Partner is on one side, and Moving to Florida. Yeah, Moving to Florida I think was on, that was on one of their other albums, so that must be the A-side. But yeah, I think, yeah, these actually, I think I bought this when it came out. I can't remember. It's like mid to late 80s. But yeah, I've had that one for a while. Not their best, but it's good. This one, I just got it because it was Henry Mancini, I guess, and it just looked interesting for soundtrack with a very young Jeff Bridges there. So yeah, the reviews of the movie look kind of mediocre. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one or not, but it was just in really good shape, and I just really like the album art. So Golly Golly, what can I say about it? Kind of, it got a little bit of like psych influence, but yeah, you're talking pop psych, some kind of the weird mid '60s fun, wild and crazy. what do you call that? The who is that guy? The pop jazz artist, Ramsey Lewis. So it has that kind of feel maybe, and then some like kind of pop folky kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll have to watch the movie, but I'm not sure I'll keep this in the collection or not. It just looked really interesting, so I thought it was worth a gamble. I think I paid like less than 50 cents on that one, so whatever. It was just kind of cool. Headcoats, Headcoatitude again. So Billy Childish, you think, yeah. It was a garage rock if you don't know it. Yeah, it's a decent album. I don't think it's his best album, but it's pretty good. Standout tracks on here: My Dear Watson, and what's that? I think that on the B side had some good ones. Wonder Why People Don't Like Me, maybe? Snitch Baby? I can't even remember now. But yeah, it's decent, but I wouldn't say it's their best album. But yeah, I always like Billy Childish, but he just puts out way too much stuff. Yeah, this is awesome. This the makers on Estrus. So this I bought back when it came out. So this is the original pressing. It's on the blue vinyl. And yeah, Estrus always does like the retro labels. So just garage rock revival stuff. This is an exceptionally good album. I think most people consider this to be the Maker's strongest. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't. And yeah, this particular one had, yeah, I can't go with the poster. I had that up in my my dorm room, as I recall. It still has got maybe high school. I can't remember. Maybe I was up in high school too. It's got a lot of puncture holes. It's been around a bit. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. So the Makers, All Night Riot. So if you like stuff like the Sonics or the Monks or whatever, it's in that pantheon. And it's kind of similar stuff. This is a newer album, maybe from a few years back. This is a German press. I think it only released in Germany. But Fadeaways, Teenage Hitsville. So they fall somewhere between like garage rock and your Ramone style pop punk. You can kind of see that from the photo there. It's really nice guys. They tour a lot. They come out to the States a while, every once in a while. But I think with the COVID situation, it might be a while. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. So this one, curiously, it's 12 tracks, but it is 45 RPM. But I guess for that, it sounds better. Probably if it was much longer, it'd start dragging. But yeah, if you like stuff like Ramones and you like your Sonics, old school garage punk, pop punk is somewhere in that pantheon. But yeah, really good album. I think some of their other albums aren't quite as strong, but they could be a little hit and miss. But yeah, and these guys are really good live too. So if you get a chance, definitely see them. And go taking out garage rock, another thrift find not too long ago. So Paul Revere and the Raiders. Sorry man. So finishing up my bathroom today. So yep, it's greatest hits. So really, it's actually a really good album. I'm kind of curious if anyone has any of their full length albums. Are they actually worth picking up? I have a feeling they're much more of a singles kind of band. I don't remember anyone ever showing Paul Revere and the Raiders like, you have to have this album. But yeah, but the greatest hits actually a really good one. So I would highly recommend picking this up if you see it. So this is an unusually clean VG Plus copy at the thrift. So I was a little worried because it didn't have the inner sleeve, but it cleaned up really nicely. So cool. Then I was starting to get into the more no wavy stuff. I'm running long, so good thing I split this. So started with some Guided by Voices, not their best. So yeah, they were in kind of they fall into that kind of somewhere in that noise rock and Sonic Youthy, no wave, but a little more poppy, like more the poppy Sonic Youth or Yo La Tango, or it falls into that sort of thing. So, but yeah, definitely not their best album. This was a freebie, so beggars can't be choosers. It's good background music. And speaking of background music, Sonic Youth, Made in USA. So this is the mid 90s issue. This is the original version. I bought it when I was a high school kid, I think. So what this is they scored this right after, I think, Evil. So this would have been done before they did Daydream Nation. So you can kind of hear the makings of Daydream Nation on this. And this is actually one of my favorite Sonic Youth albums, but it's only really like one or two songs, and they're just kind of reworking it throughout because this is actually a soundtrack. Um, but it's quite interesting, and not for everyone. You'd have to like the early Sonic Youth. But this, I would say, this is kind of like proto Daydream Nation, so not for everyone. It's kind of in between Evil and yeah, Bad Moon Rising. That there it's like that, but it's intended to be a soundtrack. So there's a lot of instrumentals, but the vocals, the songs with vocals like Thermstar does are just really strong. So yeah, so for the diehard Sonic Youth fans, it's a really good one. And speaking of, yep, so gave this guy a spin today. So Glenn Branca's Symphony Number 1. So it's hard to describe. Avant-garde, I guess. So he's doing a symphony that's all guitar. So Thurston Moore and Lee Ronaldo got their start here. Before, this is pre-Sonic Youth, Thurston Moore and Lee Ronaldo. And yeah, conducted by Glenn Branca there. So this is a really good album. So originally I think this was released on cassette. So it's probably not the best quality recording, but it's still good. It's yeah, more on par like a really good bootleg, I guess. Because I don't know. Apparently it was a lot better in person reading the liner notes, but yeah, super album though. So you know, you got neoclassical, avant-garde, whatever, but you know, if you like, again, you like the early Sonic Youth, especially the instrumental stuff, this is just insanely good. And again, in the kind of same vein, Steve Lacy is still in the shrink, so I won't bother taking this out. So Steve Lacy with Yuji Takahashi and Takahisa Kosugi, sorry. So this is a reissue from maybe a couple of years ago. I think in German, I want to say. But so it's Steve Lacy, the saxophone player, and so Yuji Takahashi's on piano and celesta, and Kosugi's on violin, toy flute, percussion. So very early avant-garde electronica, jazz. I don't know. If you like Glenn Branca, you probably like this. If you like weird avant-garde, free jazzy kind of stuff, then you'd also like this. So really good album. If you see it, definitely pick it up. And I'll end this with 50 Foot Hose, so considered to be the first electronica album. Yeah, so this is the reissue that came out like a year or so ago, but yeah, I just realized, I was reading the hype sticker, and apparently I'm missing, there's supposed to be like a zine or something that was supposed to come with this. I didn't get that. Kind of sucks. But it's on this kind of puke yellow green swirly vinyl, whatever. I guess that's reproducing the original label. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know how that goes. But yeah, excellent album. So electronica, avant-garde stuff. And look at that, I'm already at like 18 minutes, so it's a good thing I split this into two. So, yeah. So I got to go into work tomorrow, but then I got, well, I think 6 days off in a row, so I'm just shooting this early this week. So everyone have a good one, and have a good week at work. Yay. And I'll be painting and cleaning and getting the house somewhat organized. So, yep, everyone take care. Happy week.